everybody, and welcome to another episode of Andrew Discusses, the video series where we pretty much just shoot the shit. You know, I'm kind of liking that one. So I've had a hell of a time coming up with a decent introduction for this. I mean, Andrew Rants was easy, the podcast somewhat easy. This is more difficult. I don't know why. But anyway, today is actually a bit of a requested discussion video. See, I put out a new video on Hikenchou. That was the series that I ranted about, why others hate it, and I love it. I talked about it at length with a few YouTubers. In fact, one of them follows me and even subscribed to my channel. And honestly, we've gotten along pretty good. And there's another show that we both kind of like. And this is one that I really do think deserves a little more than what it is. Now, keep in mind, yes, this is another one of those let me get the elephant out of the room now sort of deals. This one deals with boobs. There, I said it. Hey, I'm a guy, okay? I notice them. In fact, I'm very observant about a lot of things. If a picture frame is off by a mere centimeter, I'll tell you. If a car has something different about it that it didn't have earlier in the day, I'll tell you about it. And if a show is quite interesting and you're only seeing one aspect of it, please allow me to educate you. But no, seriously, I mean, it's not a bad show. I do like it. I saw it years ago when I was watching some stuff online. I came across it, and it's called Manyuu Hikenchou. This entire series is basically 12 to 13 episodes long. It's not a very long series. It's literally about your standard anime season length. At least for the medium, the average anime season. And it's, honest to God, it's not a bad show. It basically deals with the one character, Chifusa Manyuu, who is attempting to usurp the world's order. Now, in this world, boobs rule everything. Yes, it's a bit of an ecchi type series, but it's honestly pretty interesting. Just hear me out for a moment. So, the point of the show is that basically boobs rule everything. Flat-chested people are worthless, and the bigger you are, the more power you have. Chifusa wants to usurp this and basically make everybody equals. And that's one of the things that I can get behind with this show. I am one of those many people in the world that I hate the fact, just flat out hate the fact that other people can be held upon higher pedestals than other people. Now, somebody out there is going to go, well, you're a hypocrite. You have a YouTube channel. Other people don't. But everybody can start a YouTube channel. Hell, Gamer Grandma has a YouTube channel, and she's in her 90s. Anybody can start a YouTube channel. So that it makes us all on the same level. Just because I have one and somebody else doesn't technically mean I'm better than them. We're all equal in that part because we can all start up a channel. Whether or not it's successful or not is based upon how we do and what we do, but we all have the ability to be a YouTuber. There's that. But for things like discounts and stuff like that, I do kind of take offense to the fact that, oh, look, so-and-so can get a discount because they work here. That's one of the things I hate whenever I have to buy something at work. I'm forced to use my employee discount. I don't like using my employee discount. I hate it when I'm held upon a higher pedestal than somebody else. What makes me any different than the poor person over there in the corner? Nothing. Think of this like back in the early ages. If I would be high-class royalty and I'd be looking out at the peasants, I would be miserable. I would be feeling their pain, wanting to find a way to equal out the playing field. It bothers the crap out of me, and it always will. And this series does speak volumes to that. Chifusa comes from the Manyuu clan. Her mother was a master of a technique called the breast flow technique, or the Chichinagari. And what she wants to do is basically go around and spread the wisdom of boobs throughout the world. She wants to make everybody equal so that there's no longer a class system that is already causing the discrimination that is befallen the entire world. And this is mostly how it is. And this is set back in like an alternate feudal era Japan, so it also brings in another cool thing that I love: swords. Freaking swords! I mean, we're talking swords here. I love swords. So she sets off on doing this, and it's honestly not a bad construct that goes on here. I mean, she interacts with a few characters, she learns about their stories. There are a few episodes that really speak volumes to what the show brings to the table, and it's a lot more than, oh, look at how big her boobs can get. No, it does. It brings a lot more. Like her adopted sister, or actually her half-sister, because technically Chifusa is the adopted one. Her half-sister realizes after Chifusa uses the technique and takes her boobs from her, realizes, okay, this class system sucks. I was treated really good, and now just because of that technique and what happened to me, I'm treated lower than dirt. This sucks. No, she has a point. This has to change. Her best friend, Kaede, basically had the same thing done to her as punishment for Chifusa leaving the village. She feels the same way. It's like, look, this has to end. Although, in Kaede's case, it's basically she just wants her body back to the way it was and will do anything to get it back. But then there's the one episode that I really do appreciate that they did. And it's an episode where Chifusa and Kaede find themselves at a cliffside village. And it's a bunch of divers that dive for the ocean life in the sea. And they have a little restaurant there where they sell a lot of this stuff. And it's actually an interesting episode. The one character in this, her name is Oso, and she developed. And it hinders her diving, because she has to tie weights around herself just to dive deeper and deeper to get the stuff. And it hampers her because she wants to dive. She doesn't want to be an eyesore for people. She doesn't want to be worshipped just because something grew on her. She wants to be admired for her skills, not for what she has. And when Chifusa and Kaede come to the village, they're basically forced to take on a giant kraken under the water. Well, squid, octopus, whatever the hell you want to call it, because I don't really know what the terminology is for when it's underwater and overwater. It's sort of like magma and lava. It has there's differences depending upon what it is and where it is. Believe me, I've gotten into 7 arguments with people on this. It's not a good conversation to have. So, during this entire battle, Oso ends up getting captured by the octopus, and because they're underwater, Chifusa, who's already at this point in the series has absorbed a lot of chests from people she's taken on, is basically at a disadvantage. She's underwater, her techniques have little to no power, and both her and Oso are quickly running out of air. They're running out of oxygen to breathe. So their solution is simple. She has to use a technique that's not going to harm her, but is going to harm this, the squid, the kraken, the creature, basically. So she has to figure out what to do. She only has one technique that'll do that, and that's the Chichinagari. So she attacks Oso, basically slicing through her to destroy the kraken. The technique doesn't harm physically. All it does is take the energy out of a woman's chest. That's literally all it does. And it doesn't harm them, at least not in the sense of she just literally sliced through her with a sword. The technique, the sword basically at that point becomes energy, nothing more. It's like a siphon. And it'll just draw the power out. So she does that to save Oso, to attack the creature behind her, which causes it to release its grip on her, allowing Oso to escape back up to the surface to get air, who then, because of that, she's able to come back down and save Chifusa, who after, releasing the anchor that was holding her underwater, tries getting back up because her oxygen's running out, only to be captured by the creature who's not technically dead yet. Oso ends up saving Chifusa's life and is thankful to her for what she did. She even tells her, I'm not angry about this. I never wanted them. If I would have known you could have done this from the start, I would have asked you to do it. Oso just wanted to dive. That's all she wanted to do. She never wanted to be ogled or admired for those particular assets. And that really does speak volumes to what this show does. I mean, there's even an episode later on. In fact, I think it might have even been the next episode, if I'm not mistaken. But keep in mind, I'm doing a lot of this from memory. Where Chifusa ends up taking on a group of assassins, 3 of which she ends up having to use the technique on, and is basically forced to take on the combined sizes of those 3. And doing so causes her to basically become immobile at this point. They end up seeking refuge from one of the local, I guess you want to call it monasteries in this point. I'm not exactly sure what it would be called. But there, she learns that most of the energy she's absorbed from using the Chichinagari has basically poisoned her in a way. The energies are conflicting with each other. That's why they're angry. That's why her boobs are really heavy and why they're so large. Because the energies are angry with her for taking them from their host. And when I saw that episode, and I'm thinking, there's one energy in there that's really not pissed off. Maybe even 2, technically, going from episode 2 even. There's at least 1 or 2 that aren't entirely pissed off about it. In episode 2, she absorbed a little bit off of an innkeeper that was hired to kill her. And the innkeeper was a little more thankful than you would have assumed, because now she was able to lead a bit of a more normal life. She didn't lose everything, but she lost just enough so that she wouldn't have to worry about them becoming a massive problem in a few years. And like I said, the aforementioned Oso, who had hers lost to save her life. That would be at least 2 energies that would not be pissed off at what had transpired and what had happened. And there are so many other moments like this in the series that speak volumes for what it means. It's not just oh look, here's an Ichi show that's literally just fan service where people can watch this, get their rocks off for 10 minutes, and be considered sick perverts for doing so. This is a show that honestly gives a lot more to the table than you would have thought possible, especially for what it is. Like I said, it is technically an Ichi series, yeah, but it's an Ichi series that's honestly quite impressive in how it does that. And I do apologize for the noise. The local fire department just got back, I guess from training or something, or a call, I don't know which. And that's basically what the show is. Even the manga, the few chapters that I saw of it, speaks the same volumes. There was a chapter in the manga where there was an assassin that at some point in her life became angry and pissed off that she basically was able to form poison from her body. And she basically had what was effectively dubbed in the manga poisoned breast milk. And that's what she used to attack her enemies and perform her assassinations. And Chifusa basically purified her of that and gave her a chance to help a young child that needed food. This was like an infant that needed food. It needed to feed, and the mother couldn't provide it. And she all of a sudden felt this, I can really be a good person here. I don't understand. I understand now then. It's like, I can really be a good person. All I have to do is just really try, and I could be a good person. And that was because Chifusa took the time and effort to do that for her. To show her that you are wrong in what you were thinking. Let me tell you why. She wasn't just, blowing smoke up, the poor woman's backside, basically. She was being honest with her, and she gave her a second chance to help. And it was like this for so many things, even in the anime series. That's what makes this one really unique. The fact that this is honestly a show that shows you that even though there's a difference, even though there's a class system, that doesn't mean there has to be separation among the classes. You can still rub elbows with the poorest of the poor and the lowest of the low, even if you're the highest of the high. There's nothing that says you can't. And that is honestly what the bigger takeaway from this should be. Other than, oh look, boobs. That's one of the few things that, I mean, even with my Aiken discussion, I still stand by this. A lot of this stuff is more than it seems. And Manyuu Hikenchou definitely does show that in more ways than one. Even the final episode of it, where Chifusa had to learn how to control the Chichinagari in a way, and managed to restore something that she had taken years ago and not even realized it at the time, was touching. She realized that she now has the power. Once she learns to control it, she'll have the power to basically fix the world and restore it to a proper order and remove this class system that has basically hindered them for so long. And it's honestly what's so impressive about this. I mean, if you get a chance to check it out, it's subtitled only, but if you get a chance to check it out, I highly recommend it. It's not bad. But yeah, this show does have more to it than the eye candy you're looking at. There is more to the show. It has a deeper meaning to it. But then again, a lot of shows do. But what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you think that Manyuu Hikenchou had a decent plot to it, or did you just watch it for the boobs? I mean, there's no shame if you did, no shame. Just saying. I mean, I kind of did it first, then when I rewatched it for the 4th time, then the story finally started sinking in. So, no shame. I did the same thing. But let me know in the comment section below. Let's get a discussion started. And until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes, and this has been Andrew Discusses.